Butterflies, welcome to an energy update for the 29th of May. Now, if you're not feeling it, you should be starting to feel it. So if you felt like you've been in a period of stagnancy, and I talked about butterfly soup, and kind of feeling like you're not quite the caterpillar, but you're not quite the butterfly, and you're kind of in this weird kind of in-between space where you can end up having a lot of internal arguments with yourself. Maybe you should do that, maybe you should do that. And then this kind of flat energy in between that just been, I don't know if I can actually be bothered. It's been quite an interesting last 3 months to do with this energy. Now, we're still in the energy of clarity, so you'll be getting lots of clarity about yourself. You should be doing internal investigations, which most people don't like doing, so you should be doing them. How do I actually really feel about that? How do I want to turn up in this moment? What do I want to say about that? What's my opinion about that? There's lots of curiosity, reflection energy going on right at the moment, which is actually empowering you forward into a new version or a new understanding of yourself as well. I'm dying to see how many people are just kind of going to turn out to be these amazing butterfly people in transformational energy, which is so cool. So there's some rapid fire elevations, and one thing I've noticed is there's almost like this warp speed feeling, which reminds me of like Star Trek, where it's just like and we're moving forward. So there's still a lot of elevations going upwards as well in terms of expanded consciousness and expanded growth. Talking to the guides this morning about where's aspects that we should embrace, and they said, well, start to live with directional understanding from your own self about what actually keeps you happy, what makes you happy, what floats your boat. It is your life, and to head towards a fifth dimensional understanding is to go through self, embrace all of self, love all of self, so that you come into a balance. And I was looking back on what Spirit talked about perceptions of love, or where love had been available in my life, and looked at all the dynamics that I'd actually had where, and not believing that you're deserving of love and being lovable, you can end up settling for less in terms of self-worth, self-value, that sort of thing. And then it gets reflected in relationships. So for a very long period of my life, I have turned up for other people in a format that I thought that love was, by doing an awful lot for them, by making sure that their needs were accommodated, and always secondarily putting my needs on the back burner. It feels weird to kind of look at it and go, oh my gosh, it's me, I'm the drama, it's me. Only simply because when we turn up around people in a format to accommodate other people or keep other people happy, they assume that you're happy doing that. And I can completely, I can completely understand that. Now, before I was thinking, well, why don't they turn up in the same alignment that I turn up? Why don't they turn up being thoughtful or being kind, or whatever, or any of those things are that you think that you're doing for other people? But in terms of that, it ends up being a sacrificial energy where you are not actually identifying or recognising yourself as equally important as other people. So we end up teaching people an awful lot about their needs as being way more important, and thereby making ourselves invisible. Now, as soon as you feel invisible, you literally will not feel like your needs are being met. Now, the only person that can meet your needs, and that's something that I've come to a massive understanding, is yourself as well. And I keep saying to a lot of my clients, like, you need to understand in this energy with that Miley Cyrus song, I Can Buy Myself Flowers, you need to be, thank you, the guides have just said, your own self-fulfilling prophecy about who you need to be for you in every single moment of the day. And that's been able to actually help me tap into, which is what this energy is about, to actually recognising that there's a multitude of things that I actually like to do for myself that is uniquely for me, and actually doesn't have anything to do with anybody else. So these investigative processes, the energy that we're in at the moment, really, really important for self-identification, for your own self-fulfilling prophecy my gosh, I can't get that out today. Self-fulfilling prophecy about what you actually need for yourself in your life. Now, going into it has brought amazing levels of contentment. I actually said to someone this morning, I am the most contented I have ever been in my life, internally. Amazing how that level of balance and equilibrium has gifted me with the understanding that the flow of the universe had to actually start with so within, so without. So it opens doorways as you come into this level of understanding about your own self, because the fifth dimension is through self and a different way of thinking, therefore a different version of yourself, therefore a different way of being. And I'm so grateful, and you need to be really, really grateful for all the other versions that I've transitioned through to get to this point in time. And there'll be more, because we're changing every day and you're evolving and we're expanding into higher consciousness. But it's incredibly important that you gift yourself the understanding of how incredible and how amazing you are, and stop doing to prove a point to yourself that you can do as much as possible because that's what you think you're supposed to do, to come back to realise that the art of being is the art of unconditional love, directed towards yourself as well, and loving, harmonising you, because you deserve it so much as well. It starts you into a process where you actually go, do you know what, I'm not responsible for anybody else being happy at all. And before people go, isn't that kind of selfish? No, you're not responsible for making people happy. Happiness is an inside job, seriously an inside job, and giving yourself permission is half the battle. I feel grumpy today, I'm okay with that. I feel good today, I'm okay with that. Actually surrendering to embracing the humanness of you is going to take you up tiers into spiritual level. All parts of you, we all get grumpy, we all get intolerant, we all have narcissistic tendencies when we don't get our way. So it's no good kind of wandering around labelling this and labelling that. You're a human being with these myriad 34,000 emotions that you're going to run the gauntlet of, that you need to actually just love and say, do you know what, that's just the way that I am. As soon as you can do this, you find an inner peace that just brings in the law of allowability. You are not turning up in any way, shape and form because it suits somebody else. You're turning up, just going, I'm turning up. Just turning up. And I'm really contented just turning up. I don't need to prove a point to that person. Don't care what I look like. Don't care about this. Don't care about that. And not in a horrible I don't care. It's just your ability to be bothered does not upset, thanks Elise, you're in an equilibrium. So it's just going, yep, that person's allowed to be that way. Yep, that person's allowed to have road rage. Yep, that person's allowed to be in a grumpy, and not taking that personal accountability for every single thing that's actually happening in the world as well. It allows you to navigate through your own inner peace in a way that kind of makes you just, it's a surreal floaty feeling. Having got there, it's a surreal floaty feeling, and I'm truly grateful that all the transitions that I've gone through in my life have brought me to this point, because I couldn't have got to here without having done all of those things. So cut yourself some slack, seriously, in this energy, in this transmuting, transformational, transitional energy. Cut yourself some slack, take the rest that you need, do the reflection that you need, nurture the inner child part of you by going, do you know what, you were just a kid and you had faith and trust in other people's perceptions, but they're still other people's perceptions, they're still other people's opinions, and your opinion is the most important, and your opinion of you, an empowered opinion of you of being that incredible, amazing being that you are, is the most important, because that's what brings you peace. That's what brings you in an equilibrium, and that is the gift of seeing yourself through the eyes of the divine. And you need to start seeing yourself through the eyes of the divine, because every single person down here is amazing, incredible, and doing the very best they can with what they're trying to do as well. So remember to cut some slack, remember it's transitional energy, remember you're still deeply working with the most important person in your life, which is you. So kind of take the time, do the rest, do the investigation. As you feel like hermiting understand it's the universe putting you in a position to take the time to have patience with yourself, to actually explore your own possibilities and the truth of what you need from your own life. Take care of you. Have a great week.